Hi, I'm Jeprianto Kalamba as a student at Christian University of Indonesia Toraja, and this video is assignment from subject Psycholinguistic. Right now, I will explain my summary about topic when I was a child, I spoke as a child. But I will only explain a few points from my summary. So the first point is Tennyson said our first attempts at speaking were not words but cries. This means that when babies cry, it is their first attempt at speaking. Crying is a way for babies to express how they feel. And the second point is, it is common perception that a baby's cry conveys some significant linguistic communications. And this is reinforced by Plato's observation that the first communicative difference is between comfort and discomfort. This means that when the baby cries, there is something that makes him uncomfortable. For example, the baby will cry when he is hungry or maybe because he is bitten by an insect. So let's move to the first subtopic. It is no language but a cry. Point 1. In the first few months, crying is a kind of speechless language as the child communicates various types of discomfort without speaking. It is clear here that crying is a way for babies to convey something, because no newborn child can immediately say the words and say that I'm hungry. Point 2. As infants become adults, crying helps children learn how to produce linguistic sounds, so this earliest form of speech is a precursor to speech. Here we can see that crying plays an important role in a child's developmental stage, especially in his speaking ability. Point 3. During the first few weeks of a child's life, crying is largely an automatic response to noxious stimuli, which is triggered by the automatic nervous system as a primary reflex. This means that the crying response is programmed into the child, and crying is initially a spontaneous reaction unaffected by the voluntary control of the voluntary nervous system, which eventually develops as the driver and shaper of most human behavior. Point 4. Crying at first is really iconic. There's a direct and transparent relationship between the physical voice and its communicative intent. For example, the hungrier a baby is, the louder and longer it cries. It also increases in tone. The degree of discomfort is directly proportional to the intensity of the acoustic signal. Point 5. In the first month or two of a child's development, crying becomes more distinct and more symbolic. This means that it is not directly related to the child's discomfort. Instead, the cry is subtly, indirectly, and almost randomly related to his need, and most mothers intuitively realize, and as recent research has shown, babies may not cry to express discomfort or pain, but rather to get attention. Point 6. The earliest communication efforts underscore the importance of social interaction in the acquisition of human language. When we are born after our full natural lifespan of 9 months, we are so physically weak and underdeveloped that we are completely dependent on our caregivers for several years. After several weeks of extensive interaction with the caregiver, the child begins to make noises, making soft gargling sounds apparently to express satisfaction. Crying and roaring influence and are influenced by caregiver behavior. Most likely, the baby's initial vocalizations and the constant response of the caregiver reinforce each other. Point 7. The bubbling stage appears at about 2 months of age but is successful when the child is about 6 months old. with the bubbling stage. Bubbling refers to the natural tendency of children at this age to burst into consonant-vowel syllable sets, almost like some kind of vocal play. Point A. Interestingly enough, when babies start bubbling consonants at the canonical stage, they don't always produce only consonants from their mother tongue. That is, their initial acquisition is not the segmental phonemes that make up their mother tongue. In fact, children seem to be playing with all sorts of segments at this stage, and often produce consonants found in other language, not just the language around them. So that's all my explanation, and thank you for watching. See you.